Good evening, everybody. We got here another 1v1 on Socotra, this time between the Viper and Hera. Of course, this map being very aggressive, causing the players to go forward, try to rob as much food, as much laming as possible. We do have in the red Hera playing as the Tatars. Already Viper has gone forward. He is playing as the Mayans. He has stolen one goat. He's starting to wall off the berries. And Hera already stealing an elephant from the Viper. Two goats have been found by the Viper and sent back. See exactly what happens. Hera deciding to bring his goats in as quickly as possible, as he does have this elephant coming in as well. Viper already going forward to lame the zebras of Hera, wanting to do as much laming as possible. Of course, these two players, top level players, and playing on a map like this is a little bit more fun, very different than what a typical map would be. And Hera, of course, having to go out, collect what he can from these zebra just to make sure that they don't rot away. But before he can even look at that, the berries are being walled in. He doesn't notice it yet. He will very shortly when his scout reaches that point. But Viper doing a great job of laming as much as possible, making sure that no resource is easy for Hera to get access to. Hera deciding to mill the zebra, probably a good idea. That does allow for him to collect whatever he can, and with these berries being walled in, the mill will be needed anyways. Of course, Hera already on the back foot. Viper going forward will lame the elephant as well, as he will look to take that out. Not sure if he's in range of it. Oh, the elephant walks the opposite direction, so he's not in range, but he will be pretty closely. And as you can see there, elephant is trying to attack, but unable to do so. Might need to take out the palisades, and the palisade is getting repaired by the Viper, so this elephant is still getting attacked, but not doing as much damage as would think. Hera does end up getting the elephant in the end, and the Viper's forward lane not quite as successful as he would have hoped for, though he has blocked off quite a bit and caused such a big distraction. Severely housed is Hera. Moving back over, Viper has been untouched. He does have this safe zebra patch that is open. He did lose his elephant on the front, but other than that, he has been pretty safe for the most part. Hera does have a slight lead as far as villagers go, but overall both players are at 14 and will continue to just build up what they can, lame what they can, until they reach the feudal age, in which we will see some military aggression, no doubt. And one thing that I do like about the Viper's playing as the Mayans here, is he's walling in the stones of Hera, obviously towers being very powerful on this very small map, and so the inability to collect stone means that Hera will not be able to drop towers forward and block out the Viper. And the Viper choosing to push in the zebra at this point. He does have the lead, and with this extra food that he will have access with the zebra, that will give him an even bigger lead as the game goes on. Because when you look over at Hera's base, he is down to just his two goats left, and he does have a little bit of food on this zebra, but after that he will be relying on farms with his berries locked in. Looks like the Viper is going to move forward and continue the laming. He has been really going hard on laming this game as much as possible, and we will see the players start to click up to the next age now. Food-wise, we do see Hera does have enough to get to the feudal age. Definitely not able to do a successful fast castle from this build, but he will be first up to the feudal age, and he will be putting out some sort of aggression. Villagers are collecting gold already, and playing as the Tatars, we would expect something a little bit forward. The Viper just clicking up now, still with 2 zebras untouched. He is on his last goat though, but if you look at Hera, he has virtually no food income at this point in time. Trying to get rid of this villager from the Viper. In a 1v1, the Viper would win that fight, but of course, being in the back of Hera's base, that will force the Viper to leave. And Hera is dropping down a barracks to begin with. We will see another military building surely once the feudal age hits, and he is getting very close up to the feudal age with the number on gold. Wouldn't be surprised to see an archery range. Hera now first up to the feudal age, and there's that archery range coming down. And of course, playing against the Mayans do have a little bit of a better economy, in my opinion, and they will have the stronger archers as the game goes on. But Hera, being first up, that will give him that little bit of advantage as the Tatars to get his archery range working. Very few on food for Hera right now, just looking to keep villager production up as much as possible. He is dropping farms, and he will be looking to expand his economy a little bit with just building 1 villager at a time. But he may struggle with food to begin with. As you can see here, not enough food. He does have an idle TC. And the Viper responding to the archers with eagles. Of course, eagles being very strong against archers. As the game goes on, they get stronger and stronger as that pierce armor increases.
Shot it.
Of course, 1v1 an eagle will be able to take out archers, but once you get to that critical mass of archers, they will be able to deny it. So, in response, the Viper is coming out with his own skirmishers. Hera looking to wall in his base so he doesn't get raided, but his base is very messy with these walled in resources here. 2 archers right now for Hera, and that is not quite enough to combat against the eagles and skirm that have already come out for the Viper, and fletching already coming in for the Viper, so he will have that little bit of an advantage grow as much as possible. Taking a look at the villager counts, Hera does have a 2 villager lead, even with that idle time that his town center did have. Remember, he did pick off one of Viper's villagers, so that does make quite a big difference. 3 skirmishers though, this will be able to push back the army of archers that Hera has moving in towards the Viper. So right now, Viper looking to build up his economy and really mass up some sort of army that can negate these archers that are coming forward. Stable being dropped further back in Hera's base, but he's having to drop more farms as his economy not fully set up for scouts right now. He will add a couple of scouts which will be able to take out the skirmishers and do some damage to the eagles up front, but it will be a little while until he has enough army to fight against the military of the Viper. The Viper with full map control, and he is going forward. Mind you, the Viper knows right now that Hera does not have access to stone. And so he is dropping a watchtower, and Hera drops one in response. Both of them looking to build as much as possible without wasting the stone that they do have. Hera going a bit further forward now with his villagers, trying to deny this archery range, or deny this tower that the Viper is putting up. Don't know if he has enough at this point in time. If he is to drop out of the archery range, he may be able to pick off 1 or 2 villagers, but it looks like both towers will go up at this point in time. But the hill advantage goes to the Viper. Scouts falling for Hera as he tries to sit back, and his tower will go down shortly. Hera is having to rush the tower of the Viper all in. This is getting messy very quick. That's what's so beautiful about this map. But right now, with these 5 archers, is he able to do enough damage to take out this tower? The villagers drop in left, right, and center. 1 villager leads still for Hera, but he is losing HP, losing idle time, and the tower for the Viper goes down with the move for the Hera's villagers going forward. More archers coming out, and right now we only have 2 skirmishers in the front for the Viper. Another Eagle Scout is coming forward with an archer, but the villagers and scouts able to take out the military and the villagers of the Viper. The Viper's push is pushed back. Those archers that were in the archery range that jumped out, those 5, they changed the entire course of the game up until this point, and we now see very close still Hera with a 2 villager lead and both with just 2 military. And that archer just barely able to stay alive, taking out the scout. And this tower will provide some defense for Hera on the front of his base, but he is still fairly open, all things considered. Taking a look at the economy of Hera, he does have 20 on food. That is a good amount to be on food for this point in the game, but it will not add up too quickly. He is also doing fairly well, 6 on gold. That is enough to maintain archer production, as well as add up a little bit to save up for the next age. Taking a look at the Viper, far less on food right now, as he is not relying on building scouts as much as Hera is, but instead collecting up quite a bit of gold with 9 on gold right now. Archers are going forward for the Viper. They will go down to these 2 scouts and this 1 archer, but able to do just a little bit of damage, try to take out as much HP as possible, and may actually pick off this scout. So the Viper able to pick off that scout, but he is falling behind militarily, as Hera does have these 3 archers out and this 1 scout cavalry. A little bit of idle time with this farm, but altogether nothing too crazy. Both of these players looking to save up, as Hera is the first one to the castle age. Viper still a little bit of a ways away. He will have to buy his way up with all the gold that he is collecting if he does decide to go up to the next age. He does have the buildings for it, he just needs the resources, and by resources, it's predominantly food. With his low food income, only 11 farmers right now, he will be falling behind. And I do like the aggression from Hera, but I'd prefer for him to do exactly what he's doing right now. Sit back, wait till the upgrades come in. The Viper is slightly behind up to the castle age, but he has clicked up now, and Hera will have 2 archer production. The Viper will be responding with his own eagles and archers. With this map, just because of how close it is, there is no real time to breathe and sit back. Both players will have to be aggressive. Both players will need some sort of forward and attack the economy of the other player. Things can snowball out of control so quickly on this tiny map, especially with the way that the resources are. And one thing to note, Hera will be running out of safe gold to take because of these walls that were put up by the Viper earlier. But Hera, first to Castle Age, already getting Bodkin Arrow, already getting Crossbow. He has 2 archers being produced at a time, and he is continuing to make villagers. He does have the economy to create villagers, obviously, with the number of farms that he does have, but he is reducing the number of farms from what it was when he was trying to get up to the next age. The Viper, in the meantime, now has crossbows coming into the back of his base, causing some threats, but he will be able to safely wall. He does have access to this wood here, and he will be dropping a castle. Of course, Mayans having those strong plumed archers. Let's see how many villagers Viper loses. This castle will definitely go up, but how many villagers will be lost by the crossbows? Doesn't look like too many to begin with. So far, not a single villager goes down. That is massive for the Viper to be sitting with 9 crossbows right on your face and not losing a single villager. That is huge. But immediately a mangonel comes out for Hera, and already a knight coming forward to attack the economy on the other side. Hera doesn't care that much about this castle, as it will take time for those plumed archers to get passed up. So he is going to look to move into the economy, take out villagers where possible. Hera does have a slight vill lead still. He's maintained that slight vill lead for most of the game to this point, and both players now with a mangonel for defense. But one thing to note, the Viper only with 4 military, 3 of those plumed archers, and 1 is a mangonel. Let's see exactly how this micro between the 2 mangonels matches up. Crossbows coming forward, not quite a direct hit that the Viper would have wanted. Does take out 1 crossbow with the mangonel shot. Hera being pretty tentative right now whether he wants to come in or out, and the Viper just trying to do the attack grounds to take out the military of Hera. Big military lead right now for Hera, and he has slightly fallen behind when it comes to villagers. Let's see exactly if we can get any direct hits from these mangonels to the crossbows, to the plumes. So far, Viper repairing up his mangonel, able to do quite a bit of damage. But the Viper is pushed into this small little corner. His access to gold is protected by this castle. However, this side is still fairly open should Hera decide to run around on that side. But speaking of running around on the side, Hera is very open right now on his southeast front. And of course having to wall up with house walls that will provide a little bit of protection against these plumes that were toying with the idea of moving around to the side. Haven't quite decided on it, and smartly Hera is taking out the houses and palisade walls with his knight. That will give him more access to this stone, and it will eventually give him access to golds as well. But the plumed archers, we now have 10 of them. Plumes, of course, with their speed, so difficult to deal with. Great for raids, but with a mangonel forward, that they might be in a pretty bad position. Lots of mangonels out on the field for the Viper, but these crossbows with just 1 knight are enough to keep them at bay, especially with a couple of mangonels spread out. Taking a look at the economy, both players very even when it comes to villager counts. The Viper deciding to add in an eagle that will be able to do a little bit of damage against the archers that Hera does have coming forward. But as you can see, nowhere for him to go at the moment. Mangonels do have the hill advantage for Hera. That does make a big difference, but with the number of mangonels that the Viper has, he is totally fine losing 1 for 1, as he now has 2 on the field, and there are none left for Hera. Hera, though, coming forward, trying to grab the gold on the forward hill. He does not have safe access to gold, as this one is running very low very quickly. And it looks like there's nothing really that Hera can do to defend against this initial push. Will this be enough to close out the game? Siege Workshop is denied by the Viper. Plumed archers coming in, attacking the villagers on stone. No villagers down yet, but able to waste a lot of time. And all of these villagers have not been collecting. That's 8 villagers sitting, not collecting any resources. And then we see these other 9 villagers on the former gold, not able to collect anything either due to the fact that they have run out of gold. Mangonels pushing on the front, plumes and a mangonel pushing on the west. And I think this is the beginning of the end for Hera as a big shot comes in from the Mangonel. And these crossbows, all of them on such low HP, able to do so little in defense against these Mangonels. There is a Mangonel for Hera in the Siege Workshop, and he is on the way to the next stage. 26% of the way up, but will it be enough? Not sure what exactly the next age will even bring for him, as he does lose a 1-for-1 battle with the Mangonel. There are 3 Mangonels sitting forward, and I don't think I agree with the move for Hera to go for the Imperial Age. I don't see him getting the benefits of it as of yet. Losing crossbows, he will not have them as arbalests when they get up to the next age once they are dead. He is doing a smart move of jumping in and out of the TC, but he has a massive deficit when it comes to villagers. 8 villager lead now for Viper, 13 military lead for Viper. Looks like it's the beginning of the end right now for Hera, as he does have a Mangonel in the back pocket, is teching into elite skirmishers, so he will have some sort of defense against the plumes. But this many plumes, a ram, and the Mangonels, there's nothing he can do against it right now, and it's just time for GG pretty quick here. Down to 11 military against the 29 of Viper, even getting a 1-for-nothing shot, and Hera waits for himself to hit the Imperial Age, and he calls the GG. That castle placement, if more villagers had gone down, or if the castle had been denied at all, if those archers were sitting in a different position, that could have changed the entire game. But overall, great play between 2 fantastic players.